How does an empire feared by all its neighbors sustain itself? Is it only with fierce warriors? Or is it also with spies, merchants, poets, and teachers? The Aztecs didn't dominate Mesoamerica by force alone. They also knew how to organize fear, trade, and knowledge. And that's what made them so powerful.
In the last episode of The Time Compass, the Aztecs had a powerful army that conquered neighboring peoples. And in just a couple of centuries, they ruled over Mesoamerica. Life in combat. The Aztecs were almost always at war. One of the aims of going into combat was to capture warriors from enemy tribes for human sacrifices. They believed that the fiercer the warrior they captured, the more satisfied their gods would be. The Aztecs went into battle wearing elaborate masks and costumes representing gods and animals, which made them seem like terrifying creatures when they went into battle. The Aztecs knew that fear was a great way to win a battle. Boo! Although they were fearsome warriors, war and domination was not the only thing the Aztecs cared about. They were also—
And just so you know, the Aztecs didn't just fight with weapons, they also fought with fear. Masks, screams, symbols of gods, and powerful animals. Everything was used to break the enemy before the final blow. And if these incredible civilizations are surprising you, religion, conquest, and the fall of the Aztec world.
Very interested in commerce, and they established strong trading links with neighboring peoples. Many goods and crafts were produced by the Aztecs and sold in other cities. And Aztec traders were very busy traveling the land buying and selling goods. There was also another benefit. The traders, in their travels, were able to hear all the gossip and find out what was going on throughout the empire. So the traders had a secret role. They acted as spies for the Aztec ruler.
Think about it for a second. For the Aztecs, winning a battle wasn't just about defeating the enemy. It was also about capturing prisoners to honor the gods. Can you imagine living in a culture where war and religion were so closely linked? Let me know what you think in the comments.
All civilizations express their visions of the world, and remnants of extinct civilizations help us in the modern age find out more about ancient peoples. The Aztecs recorded their history of military conquests and dominance through colorful symbols inscribed onto deerskin or cotton sheets. These records, full of colorful drawings, are historical documents in which many aspects of the Aztecs' daily life were recorded. You see, the Aztecs did not develop an alphabet, so instead of spelling words, a representation of an animal or object had to be made by using a combination of drawings. Here's an example. They wrote the name of their capital, Tenochtitlan, by drawing a stone, which was a tena. And from this sprouted a prickly pear cactus, which was a nochli. Aztec writing is complicated. This may have been one of the main reasons why the Aztecs used poetry so much as a means of communication. In fact, they had a poem for every occasion. War poems, "Now the army goes off to war." Sacred poems, "It's the gods who we're fighting for." Historical poems,
"We have fought many times before."
And love poems, "But how I'll miss you, mi amor." Poetry was closely connected to music. In fact, poet and singer were the same word in the Aztec language. "Oh, I'm a singer, maybe, but I'm a poet, a baby, yeah." The Aztecs were also skilled at telling time. They created a calendar that helped them to know the best time to plant seeds or harvest crops. They could even predict major climate changes. The solar calendar of the Aztecs was installed in a round altar in the center of a courtyard in the Sun Temple. They were also good at math. And interestingly, they counted using the number 20.
What?
That's right. The number 20 was the basis of all their calculations, just like the number 10 is for us.
Maybe somebody at school taught them how to count with their toes too.
School was very important in Aztec culture. At the age of 15, Aztecs would go to public schools that the state had created to ensure everyone got an education. There were two types of schools. One was called Telpucali, where they were taught about weapons, arts, and trades. The other was called Calmecac, where young men were trained to fulfill priestly duties.
Thank you. We're still not done yet. We still have to get into the most unsettling part of their history, the rituals, the sacrifices, and the brutal clash with the conquistadors. And that's coming up in the next part. If you enjoyed this journey into the Aztec world, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And tell me below what surprised you more, their warriors or their knowledge.
Let's dig a little deeper with our time compass and find out about other inventions that improved farming. When the last ice age ended, about 10,000 years ago, the few people who had survived this terrible age began to wander from place to place in search of food and shelter. A group of nomad tribes reached Mesopotamia around the year 6000 BC, and there they learned to plant seeds and harvest crops. Since they no longer needed to go out in search of food, they settled into houses and formed the first settlements in history. The Egyptians used all their ingenuity around the year 3500 BC to turn the flooding of the Nile to their own advantage. They invented an elaborate irrigation system in which the entire community participated and benefited. This gave rise to jobs like surveyors, who were like modern engineers. Surveyors measured land and planned how to build irrigation channels. Around 300 BC, the Romans perfected a method to transport water from mountain springs to fields and city centers. These famous Roman aqueducts were built with great precision. Water was taken from a main source and transported for many kilometers along channels. They were built both above and underground and had a very gentle slope that guaranteed correct water flow. These Roman aqueducts were built so well that some are still transporting water to the city of Rome to this day.
And remember, everything is amazing when you have the desire to learn.